It's no surprise that the promises of digitization and technology are in such focus. That's because of the shift to the third platform, the SMAC technology, social, mobile, analytics and cloud, with the IoT as an accelerator. That shift has been all about digitizing everything to generate data. So we're going to create, capture, copy and consume more business and consumer data in the next 3 years than we did in the last 30 years. According to IDC, by 2025, the volume of that data is going to reach 175 zettabytes. And to give you an idea of the scale of that, a zettabyte is 1 trillion gigabytes. And some bright spark worked out that if you stored all of that on Blu-ray discs and piled them on top of each other, they'd reach to the moon 23 times. So it makes sense that we should harness the power of data to start addressing some of these huge challenges that the world faces, right? But there are a couple of problems with that. And the first is that COVID exposed the really woeful lack of technology and data competence in most of the current regulatory and governmental systems around the world. And that's why so many countries and governments ended up relying on this new wave of shiny tech giants in the data economy. Which brings me on to the second problem, which is that this new wave of shiny tech giants in the data economy aren't actually part of a data economy at all. They are part of a suggestion economy, which is based on old-fashioned advertising. Now, Tim Cook of Apple talked about the data industrial complex, but he's wrong. What we actually have is a marketing industrial complex, and it aggressively exploits our growing understanding of human suggestibility in order to manipulate our need for more and more and more and more stuff. Now, the word data actually comes from the Latin datum, which basically translates as that which is given, or the truth. But in the suggestion economy, truth is not what creates profit. Behavioral advertising is where data brings value, and the result is that the overwhelming majority of that 175 zettabytes is existing data that's being processed again, often to feed and to train these insatiable artificial intelligence algorithms. So the reality is, new data represents only about 10% of the total. Now, I want you to stop for a moment and just imagine how we could transform our world if that ratio was reversed.